Hey everybody, welcome back to Slimefun. This is Boomer, and we are on episode number 3 today. We are going to start working on accomplishing certain features and certain things we want to craft today through Slimefun. A couple things that we are looking to get would be the automatic ignition chamber for our smeltery. We're going to put together a couple of output chests, and we might, if we get lucky, we might actually be far enough along to start crafting some motors. So a number of things we need that we need to come up with rather quickly to start advancing through Slimefun, that in at least the way that I would like to. What you're seeing behind me is our base on a survival server on the fanaticmc.com. Or I should say the actual link, if you would like to join the server, is play.fanaticmc.com. And this is the survival world. We also have a series on YouTube going over on the SkyGrid side. That's more focused on build and SkyGrid, although there's some Slimefun, some of the other plugins are featured here. We're simply focusing on the Slimefun aspect of it, while there's many other things. So today, we're going to dig right in. We're going to go over here, and the first thing we need to get is a few stacks of cobble. We're going to be using 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that. We need to turn cobble into gravel. We're going to turn gravel into sifted ore, and sifted ore into 9 different dusts that exist within Slimefun. Here's what we're looking today. I can tell you what we're looking to do. The first thing we want to do is build an output chest. I actually already have one put together. It's simply a chest that goes next to a dispenser in any Slimefun basic machine, and what it does, it becomes an output. So that once you craft something, it's put out of the way, and that way you can continue to go without having to stop, yank the crafted item out of either the crafter or out of the smeltery or any of the other machines that it interferes with. So in order to do this, we need a hopper and a chest, which we've already got a couple in our inventory. We need 5 lead ingots. So we're going to show you how we come up with the actual dust, and then we'll show you how to turn them into ingots. So the first thing we're going to do, we're not going to go to the smeltery. We are actually going to head over to the grindstone, and we're going to put in the 6. Man, I got a lot of junk in my inventory. I was just out on the server running through the world, doing some temple raiding, or some, I shouldn't say temple, I should say dungeon raiding on the server, and found a couple of dungeons with a bunch of spawners, but most of them had already been cleaned out of the loot. So anyways, so for the grindstone to work, again, we've loaded 6, and we're going to right click. I think I need to do that. There we go. I got to get the book out of my inventory. All right. Why is this so hard? There we go. Yep. So I'm right here. I'll turn this on just so you can see. There we go. I'm right clicking on the post, which is the same thing as clicking on the crafting table for the basic crafter, the enhanced crafting table, I should say. And as I do, it turns the cobble into gravel. Now what will happen is, if I don't watch this close enough, I'm going to go ahead and let it go 21 more times, because 20, right, where are we here? Okay, that filled the stack. If I go 21, now gravel is the first one there, in that first spot. So it's going to take spot 1. If I right click on a fence, it should turn into flint, and it did. This is why we want the output chest on this particular machine, because then it kicks the gravel out of this and allows me just to run the cobble. If I continue with this and it puts gravel there, then it will turn a gravel into flint. Well, flint for the most part in Slimefun is useless, except for making flint and steel to ignite the smeltery. So we're going to go ahead and continue, but what we're going to do is we're going to front end load that, and we're going to use gravel like this. That way, as gravel is created, it'll go actually into those 3 spots. So I can hold this down for a while we're talking. So the grindstone's going to continue to take this cobble, turn into gravel for me, and then from here, we're going to go over to the gold pan to work on getting sifted ore. And a gold pan is actually going to yield, see, gravel's down here. The gold pan is going to yield 4 different things. It's going to give us sifted ore, which we need to get dust. It's going to give us iron nuggets. It's going to give us clay, and it's also going to give us flint. Eventually, once we get everything automated in Slimefun, flint will go right into a trash can. There's actually a trash can within the system where we can say, goodbye, I don't want you, adios, see you later, how are we coming here? About 2.5 stacks to go. but it'll become a nuisance for us. Now we will use it for one particular item, and that's a carbonado. Very time-consuming item to create, very coal expensive, but we do need it as part of the process. It's actually it's the compressed carbon within Slimefun, and then that is used to make carbonado. So we'll save some flint. We'll get a couple of shulkers worth. We got 53 cobblestone. We're going to continue to sort through here, and then we'll go over to the painting machine. 4 more. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So we have our 6 stacks of gravel, and I believe I put the painting machine right here. Yep. So now we're going to imagine like the 1840s, 1850s California gold rush. Everyone it was, and they were painting gold, right? They were running it through a system to see what was actually in the dirt. We're doing kind of the same thing here. The one thing that we really want out of this is the sifted ore. Now, iron nuggets, we're going to be happy to keep because we can always use iron. And there's a way to turn iron nuggets into ingots automatically through Slimefun. We'll cover that later on down the road because we don't have the technical equipment to do so. So we're simply going to hit this machine with the gravel. And you see things will start to come out. So now you can see flint, you can see the clay balls, you can see the iron nuggets, and you can also see the clay. So as we work through this, it's okay. The things have a few minutes before they're going to despawn anyway. So we'll get through these 6 stacks long before anything despawns. On average, if you're looking to find out, well, what does each yield? From what I've seen, iron nuggets are the lowest, and I would say probably flint and sifted ore are about the same, and then the clay balls are pretty common too, but we'll see what happens here as we get through these. We'll take a look and just see what the yield looks like. So let's kick that all up. Gravel, gravel, and gravel. Whoops, that's not gravel. Where'd my 3rd stack of gravel go? Or did I do 4 already? Bummer, I'm losing track of my gravel. Anyways, we're almost done here, so we'll see what this yielded, at least, ratio-wise, just so you can plan for this. Whoops, 1 more. There we go. Nice thing about this is once you get going and you've gotten raw materials put together, you can automate all these processes to where it just runs 24/7, and all you need is a cobblestone generator and some measure with which to collect all that. Slimefun doesn't have that. However, on our server we do with minions, where we can cobble farm all day long. Alright, so if you look, we got 2 stacks, 21. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 stacks and 21 of flint. We have 2 stacks of sifted ore, a stack and 21 of clay, and the rest were iron nuggets. So flint clearly almost 2 to 1 over sifted ore, which is almost 2 to 1 over clay, which is 4 to 1 over iron nuggets. So that's just the kind of ratio. So most of that flint for now will go into the trash. Now there is a way to recycle flint back into cobble through it, but it's kind of lengthy, and it's something that we're not going to worry about today. So what we're going to do here is we're simply going to expunge this out of our inventory. For now, we're just going to toss the clay. We'll work on setting it up later. Now I am saving the iron nuggets because I do want to craft that back into ingots. I like to save those things that I can. Now we need to wash the ore. So we have sifted ore and we're going to wash it. Now I already did create an output chest, and that's all it is. It's a plain chest. It's simply designed to pull the items out of the dispenser as we hit it. So here's what we're going to do. Same thing. We're going to dump the sifted ore in. Start right clicking the fence. If you did not have this output chest, once there's 8 other items in there, if it tries to craft the 9th one, it won't go into the chest, and it'll say it doesn't recognize the recipe, or sorry, there's no room in my inventory. That's the one it'll say. There are 9 different dusts that this can yield, and we should be pretty close. The other thing it's also going to yield are stone chunks. Stone chunks, for the most part, are pretty useless. You can recirculate these back in when you're doing this manually. At that point, it's not worth it. So we're going to toss the stone chunks. You're going to see 9 different dusts. We have iron, tin, magnesium, sorry guys, silver, aluminum, copper, lead, gold, and zinc. So we're going to pull all this out. And I've actually set up 9 chests, and I ran a few earlier just to get me going so I could have that one output chest to show you. So I've put these in alphabetical order just because I'm OCD that way, and that's okay. Magnesium, probably the most useless of the dust. You almost never will use magnesium. I think there's one thing in a game it's used for, and that is magnesium salt for a generator for magnesium. Alright, so we said we needed lead. It took 5 lead dust to make an output chest. I'm going to make 3 more for the short term. So we're going to take these, we're going to go over to the smeltery. To work the smeltery, you're going to put your dust in. Now the manual smelteries, you're going to use the dust. Once we get advanced, we'll use an electric ingot factory to actually create ingots. So right now we are going to smelt the dust to turn it into ingots. So we're going to right click the fence. Oh, power went out. We got to relight the bottom. This is why we're working towards this, because we want to get this automatic ignition chamber. There we go. We got our 15 lead ingots. That will allow us to keep this lit instead of us having to relight the space every time the stupid fire goes out. It is so frustrating. So that's why the first thing we want to do is we want to try to get that going. But I want the output chest to kind of speed things up here a little bit. Problem is, if I try to craft it here, like you saw the recipe, and I were to try to do this in a vanilla crafting chamber, nothing happens. Oh, did I get it right? Nope. So we have to go over to the enhanced crafting table. The nice thing again, and I'll demonstrate this for you without having that output chest. Whoops. Here's what happens, okay? Just to show you how frustrating this is. This is why I want this output chest. Oops, that's upside down. It's a hopper on top. Okay, I can click it once, and I can craft it. If I try to craft the second one, it says it can't recognize the recipe because it has an extra chest in here that it doesn't recognize as part of the recipe. So I take it out, pull out one, craft another, take it out, pull out one, and so on. That becomes annoying as heck. So we're going to put one on the crafting table. We are going to put one on the grindstone. And we're going to put one on a smeltery. Now, smeltery, we got to put it on the back, and that's fine. Because we can also craft through here. We can still reach through here. That will save us a lot of time. Let's get into the guide. All right. Let's go back. So we are now looking for the automatic ignition chamber. This is what we're looking to craft. We need 2 steel plates, which come when you click on the item. So if you're not sure what makes this up, you can click on a steel plate. It says we need 8 steel ingots. Well, to make 8 steel ingots, we need iron dust, which we have, carbon, which we can craft because below me I have 16 wither skeleton spawners running, banking all the coal in the world that I can get while I'm sitting here. So we have enough to turn that into carbon. It takes 8 coal to make 1 carbon. So if any of you have ever played Sky Factory, this is very similar to that, except it's not as insanely modded as Sky Factory is, but that's how we're going to do this. So we need to get 8 coal to make 1 carbon, and then 1 iron ingot to make an iron ingot. You can either get it from the vanilla, you can get it from a block of iron, or you can take iron dust and smelt it. So to get a steel ingot, we need 1 of each of those. We need 8 steel ingots to get 1 plate. We need 2 steel plates. So if we go backwards, we need 2 plates. We need 16 ingots. It means I need 16 iron dust, 16 iron ingots, 16 carbon, which comes from 8 coal. So I need 128 coal, 2 stacks. So we're going to go down here to the bottom. Sorry. All right. And we're going to go down to where the materials are being stored, and we're going to get 128 coal. Alright. Now, we need to turn this into carbon, so we need to go to the compressor. Dum, dum. Where did we hide the compressor? Composter, crucible, what's the magic workbench, painting machine, Orc Crusher. Where did we hide our compressor? That's the grindstone compressor. Here we go. Same thing. Boom, boom. 8 of them give you 1, so we just need to click this a total of 16 times. Now you'll notice we didn't have to put an output chest in here or to continue to keep going. We could keep going with this. So now that we've got all 16, all right, let's go over to the iron. We're going to pull because we need 16 dust. All right. But then we also needed 16 iron ingots. I have 3 with me. So we're going to take these 13. Now we'll do it from this side. Okay, and we're going to start clicking that, clicking that chest. Let's get an empty inventory spot here. You can go out. Thank you. So yeah, see, this is the problem, is you have to continuously relight this fire. There's 6 left. There we go. Okay. Now we have 16 iron dust, 16 iron ingot, and 16 carbon. So we can stick this recipe in here. And now we can craft these. Gosh darn it. Why can't I hit the right side of this thing? Sometimes you get 1, 2, sometimes you get 12. There's our 16 steel ingots. And to get the steel plate, now we're going to take those back into the compressor. So you see how grindy this is? It does take a lot, especially in the very beginning. But in time, we get this. So here's what I do, and I'm working on crafting a project to make this a little bit easier. Just 1 second, guys. I gotta check something. Okay. I'll place a chest down and I'll open it. As what I'll do is I'll use these first 3 as the top layer crafting of the recipe. So that will be, because this is what we're trying to make, that first 9 here, these first 9 blocks becomes the first 9 in this chest. If I have to build and craft something and dig down and make multiple layers, like for example, the electric motor, okay? You see what I need? This set of 9 becomes my second set in here. The electromagnet, if I have to dig down, that one becomes my third one. I'll place a second chest down. Okay, and I'll use that if I have to dig to a 4th layer, a 5th layer, and a 6th layer. That way I can keep myself organized and I don't have it all sitting here in my inventory becoming a mess, wondering what, where. Because if I want to get to the 4th layer, which is now the nickel ingot, guess what? I could even go down technically to a 5th layer on there. But if I want a magnet, nickel, cobalt, iron, aluminum, so I have to go down. So you can see, you can dig down quite a few layers, so you want to keep yourself organized. So if I'm on the top layer here, I come all the way back, we have these first 2. We have the steel plates in place, okay? We need a flint and steel. Well, that's why I had the extra iron in my inventory. So technically, I'm going to have to go back now and get 1 more iron dust, because I don't have any more iron on me. There you go, the fire is lit, so we know we can get that. Great. Alright, let's pull out. Oops, I need a flint. I think I have some in here. I had some in there. Oh, are you kidding me? Where did my flint go? I had a stack of flint in. Oh, that's why, you know why? I had an extra stack of flint in my inventory, and that's why I got more than 6 stacks of yield. Okay, well, I'm going to have to run just a little bit of this through. Oh, here, grab it. Back to the grindstone. Because I need to get flint. There we go. Right to the output chest. There's the gravel. We'll put the gravel back in. Give ourselves some flint. Alright. Now we'll quickly craft one. There we go. Now we're back on track. So the steel and flint, I believe, is at the bottom right corner. Nope, upper right. Alright. So I'm going to continue through. I'm going to work on putting all of this together, and we'll come back and show you what the automatic ignition chamber comes. So again, if you want to, you don't have to watch me put this together. This is grindy, I get it. It's nothing fun or exciting. I'm simply going to go through and I'm going to click back and say, okay, great. If I want 3 copper ingots, what do I got to do? I click on it. I need copper dust. and it tells you what machine you have to put it in. So I need to put this in a smeltery. So I'm going to take, because I need, let's see, 3 gives me 8. I need 6. So to get me 6, I need to take 3 copper ingots, put them in a crafting table with them in the middle of the crafting table to give me my 8 copper wires. So all I got to do is 3 copper dust. So I'm going to work on building the rest of this. I'll come back and update you guys here in just a little bit. Alright guys, so we're back. We have completed crafting, as you can see. I'll turn around here. This is the automatic ignition chamber, and what you need to put in here is flint and steel. Now this will, every time it needs to reignite, it will lose durability, so you do have to stock flint and steel in here, but it is so much better than clicking the ground, clicking the post, clicking the ground, clicking the post, clicking the ground, clicking, and so on. You get the idea. You could put a chest on top of this, fill it up with 27 flint and steels, or 54 if you did a double, or any of the barrels. Probably be the easiest way. Just put a barrel, load it up with flint and steel, and this will run for a long time. Just to let you know, I did run 17 aluminum and 12 copper ingots, and it never went out. This durability on here was, I think it was somewhere around 42 when I started. So it does take durability off, but it keeps the thing going. I mean, it's so much easier. So while I was crafting this, and it probably took me about 10 to 12 minutes to complete putting this whole thing together. So getting the hopper I already had, the 2 steel plates, the 2 motors, flint and steel, and then the basic circuit board to get this is actually a drop from an iron golem, and it'll tell you mob drop, kill the iron golem. One of the things you're going to get is a basic circuit board. If you take the time to read what the guide says, every single thing, just about 99%, I'll say, every answer you need is actually in this guide. So you say, well, how do I get a basic circuit board? Don't just say stuff like that in chat. Actually look inside the guide, and it tells you, kill the specified mob to obtain this item. There's your specified mob. Okay? So we crafted 2 motors, 2 steel plates, grabbed a hopper, flint and steel, and circuit board, and it gave us this. Now you'll notice it says it must be placed adjacent, which means next to the smelter's dispensary. So you can put it on the side, or you could put it on the other side. You cannot have it facing into the smeltery's dispenser. If you do, the flint and steel goes into the dispenser and it will not work. Okay? It must be turned away from it. I had it going into the dispenser, and the flint and steel popped in here, which means when I go to craft a recipe, it's not going to work. So place another block here, turn it into that block, and now we have the electric smeltery running. So we can much more quickly craft things. So in the last episode, we had talked about what some of these machines do. For example, the Orc Crusher. Let's look that up, all right? So if you go into the search, we'll type ore in the chat, and we'll come up to the Orc Crusher. It will take chunks and turn them into the dust, but the other thing it will do is take the actual ores and give us the yield. So I put in iron ore, and instead of just the ore chunks, I also put in iron ore, and it gave me iron dust. You actually get 2 dust for every iron ore, or if you put in gold ore, you'll get 2 gold dust. These you can get from geomining, which we are not going to be doing anytime soon, and when we finally do, I'll show them to you. But I'm not going to turn them into the actual dust, because by the time we get to that point, we're going to have a fully automated dust making system anyways, to where doing these will actually be a waste of time. But we are, if we run across them in the meantime, we will use them because we need the material. Okay? Another thing, we have the ability to turn cobble into sand. 4 karat gold can actually be reversed back to gold dust. Here we go. Gold ore, 2 gold dust. Sorry guys, it's about midnight. I'm a little tired. We did have to go to the nether to get netherrack to make sulfate to make the batteries for the motors. And on SkyGrid, the nether is a grid. It's 1 out of every 64 blocks are actually there versus in survival where it's completely packed. So going in SkyGrid to go to the nether to get netherrack's a pain in the butt. Here, we just went to the nether. We've got another home. We've got netherrack up the wazoo. We don't have to worry about it. So we've created our output chest today, and we have created our automatic ignition chamber. And you know what, guys? Actually, with that, I was going to do one other thing, but I think today we're going to wrap up. So there's the ignition chamber and the output chest. 2 materials, 2 tools that will really help you get started in the Slimefun. The next goal that we're going to have is to start filling up those chests with a lot of different dust, because we want to start crafting automated machines. In order to do that, we've got to generate power. And so when we come back to our main menu in the guide, I've been doing a lot of searching. What did I want to do next? Energy. And we're going to need to set up a lot. We're going to need a power regulator. We're going to need some capacitors, and based on the ingots I've got, it's going to take a lot of time. So we really do need to get this going. I do want to get automated. So the very first piece of equipment, I was thinking about all this, what would be the best thing to start with? We can either run generators, the solar generators, which only run during the day, or we can go with coal generators, which run 24/7 but need a lot of coal. Now, as it happens to have, I have an insane amount of coal guaranteed behind me. So most likely this will be the first thing we'll do, and you'll see it's going to be a little bit of time consuming because we need some heating coils. Well, heating coils come from electric motors. We need electric magnets, which means we need nickel, cobalt, batteries. Again, here's the battery recipe, which means we got to go to the nether to mine sulfate. We got to put some other things together. So it's going to be a little labor intensive, but I'm going to put a couple of those together. I think you get the idea. I don't think I need to insult your intelligence anymore by crafting through this. I think you understand. If I want to know how to get copper wire, I click on it. I need 3 copper ingots to get copper wire. Where do I get copper ingots from? I click on it again. Copper dust into the smeltery. Where do I take the 3 copper ingots? I put them in the enhanced crafting table. I think you get how this works. So I'm going to try to not do too much more of that type of stuff on camera. I'm going to do it all off camera, come back. I might show you crafting a little bit, but I think you get the gist. So the first thing we're going to go after is going to be the coal generator to give us power to generate and create the ore grinder, which I think is on page... No, that's a smeltery. We're going to need that. Where is the ore grinder? Whoops. Went back one too far. Electric furnace, ore grinder. So this is the first one we're going to be looking to. So we're going to be needing gilded iron. Gilded iron's a pain because it's 24 karat gold. A lot of gold. So, long story short, guys, I have a lot of grinding to do, but we are going to wrap this episode up here. I hope that this was informative for you, that you learned something today. If so, let me know. Leave a comment below or a thumbs up. Maybe if you're learning more about Slimefun, give me a subscription. I'd love to help you learn more about this. We'll see you tomorrow. But as you guys know, you got to go boomer, you got to go home. We'll see you later.